I'd like to welcome everybody out to the Town Council Special Called Public Forum Meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, thank you all for coming out this morning or this afternoon. Does any member of council have a conflict of interest in regards to anything on the agenda or an appearance of conflict of interest? Sir, Sean?
No, sir.
No.
All right, moving on. Public comments on agenda items only. If anyone would like to come up, please feel free to come on up and we'll get this started.
Hello, I'm Stuart Jones, 1410 Canal Drive.
Mr. Jones, will you move
Okay.
here? Yes. There you
Is
go.
that better?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead again.
Thank you for adding a public comment time to this special meeting today. I'm a retired professional engineer and was on the parking committee. I also founded and with my wife ran a civil engineering firm in the Raleigh area for over 30 years. The council issued an RFP to analyze the parking situation on the island. The RFP was a request for a proposal that specifically asked for a price or cost of services, and yet Bolton and Mink did not include a price for their services. Their proposal is an open-ended hourly contract to provide services that are negotiated with the council. The RFP asked for public hearings and a revised parking plan, but Bolton and Mink is only providing consultation with staff and will only provide written comments about their findings. It doesn't appear that the proposal matches what the council originally advertised for. Typically, a municipal offer for services requires a minimum of 3 responses, but as far as I know, you only received 1. We think this contract should not be awarded due to a lack of response and an inappropriate response to the RFP. The island parking plan was developed by numerous individuals, including several professional engineers. These engineers are bound to a code of ethics to protect the public safety and provide the best solution for the situation. The majority of our island parking is within the right-of-way of DOT on Main Street, and DOT engineers have been intimately involved in the design of the parking spaces on Main. To spend tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars to review parking spaces that have been reviewed over and over seems a waste of taxpayer dollars. Remember what our island parking looked like 2 years ago, with no designated parking and cars parked haphazardly everywhere. Now that we have a detailed parking plan, designated parking spaces, and a substantial improvement in pedestrian safety, you're still not satisfied and want to spend maybe $50,000 on this proposal. Enough is enough. Let your public works staff work with DOT and Brunswick County Public Utilities to work on your areas of concern. Please do not award this contract. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard Eyre. My wife Joy and I live at 406 Dolphin Street. Thank you for providing the opportunity to speak to the council regarding the proposed study of the paid parking plan for Sunset Beach. After reviewing the information provided in the link to the agenda for this special meeting, I have a few comments and concerns. First of all, I want to thank those who have been involved in the original parking coordination, implementation of the current parking plan. Given the amount of time, effort, and money that has already gone into the parking project, I do not see a need for a further expenditure of time and resources for what is nearly a completed and implemented parking plan. Any required tweaks or changes could possibly be addressed as needed going forward and would not be cost prohibitive. It would appear that the council is prepared to move forward with an outside firm to further review the parking situation without input from the residents who will be funding this unnecessary expenditure. The RFP to provide an additional study for the SSB parking plan that was sent out by council seems to have been answered by a single firm. In my experience, it is customary to get at least 3 quotes in most situations involving a substantial cash outlay. I have seen only the single proposal from Bolton and Mink. Then this was attached to the agenda. And it may have been updated because I did see this morning that the total cost of the project is estimated not to exceed $45,000 for a 5 to 6 month proposed timeline estimate. Previously, I did not see that in there, and I thought it was an open-ended contract with simply rates ranging from $70 to $350 or so. The attachments to the RFP are evidence of the amount of work that has already occurred and represent a significant expenditure outlay as a result. The council has stressed judicious use of taxpayer dollars. If we are willing to spend nearly an hour debating decorations for the 4th of July, but wish to proceed with this costly and unnecessary project without further input and discussion, is not consistent with that stated objective. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Jersey, but I have 2 properties on the island. My name is Roger Sang.
Okay, thanks.
1607 East Main Street, and I own the lot behind my house as well on Canal.
Okay.
And my concern is about safety. And the way this is done, and I would encourage any of you to come to where I live, park where the park, first of all, I was told on the one side was going to be 1 parking spot. Sight lines were going to be better by my car rules. There are 2. They are right up to the driveway, to the next driveway. And then on the other side, there's another one. If you have an SUV and any type of vehicle, you are not going to see a 5-year-old kid on a bicycle, a jogger, anyone there. My concern is safety. The rocks that are on there, did you ever drive a bicycle and have those rocks get kicked all over the place? You pull out, they're there. The rain washes them into the road. A kid riding a bike, anybody, an adult riding a bike that hits one of those rocks is going to fall into the road. Someone is going to get seriously hurt. And a lot of these spots, I look at them and I want safety. All right. I was told if there was one spot, it was in the middle. Okay, maybe I have better sight lines. But when you have cars packed up and you cannot even see coming out of your driveway, it's dangerous. And my concern is that the money situation, I'm not familiar with that, with spending this money, but if it makes it safer on the island, to me, it seems to me, it's about money. And safety's the afterthought. I want safety. I want this, you can't see people coming or going. And that was my main reason for seeing it. Because I've had people parking, people look, also theft. People are looking around. I've sat on my porch, watched people look around, and they go in underneath somebody's house and take showers. People are using the showers of people. I've seen it on my porch. Somebody had a bag on his top of his car, and I'm on my porch, and I'm like, hey, you got a bag on your car. Well, I got the middle finger and told me all this stuff. So I said, all right, he left the bag on his car. I said, go ahead, you jerk. So I tried to help out, but I've had things stolen from underneath my house. That's just my concern. Okay, I'm sorry, but never done this before.
You're good.
All right, I'm
Would
doing
you give
okay.
your name again, please?
Rogers. I'll spell my last name. Steiginga. You'll never be able to say it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else on agenda items on? Sir?
Yes.
Yeah, this is all
yes.
on Mondays. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Anything on Monday's agenda. That's what this original part was for too. Yes, sir.
John Corbett, 1313 Canal Drive. I think you heard compelling arguments about parking that's been done. What Mr. Roger S. said is one of those things that could be a tweak that you go in, you look at it, and you make adjustments as it's needed rather than paying $45,000. But my comment that I want to put on is on the item on next Monday's agenda dealing with meeting times. Meeting time's been in the evening quite a bit, with the idea of trying to get people in the community who work to be able to come to the meetings and go to that. If we go to a afternoon meeting, I think it's going to have a major impact on people who are working, and it's not going to significantly increase the number of people who could come. The question about saving money, our department heads are the ones that mainly come to this meeting, other than Ms. Rigsby, who takes the notes. She's an employee that can get overtime. The department heads can get flex time where they get compensated. They take time off for being up late. Sometimes their jobs are very demanding and they don't get to use flex time. That kind of goes with the responsibility of the jobs that they have. So I don't think the idea of making it easier on staff is a compelling reason, because the staff doesn't have to come to the evening town council meetings. So with that in mind, I'd say don't change it, or if you do change it, move it down to maybe 6 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock. There's flexibility in there, but not in the middle of the afternoon. Okay, thank you, and I wish you all well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I wasn't planning on speaking, but anyway, my name is Steve Streeny. I'm at 7645 High Market Street, and I would vote for 5 or 6 o'clock for a time for a council meeting. I think that's a good compromise for the employees and for the people that may want to attend. And I would hope that if you guys do decide to spend 50 grand on a parking study, that wouldn't preclude the possibility of getting a tax rate deduction for the year 2027. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, if we don't have any more, we'll move on now to the island traffic and parking study. Staff report, Ken, we'll start this one. Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Before you and included in the agenda packet is the proposal from Bolton and Mink. And I'm not going to read through this line by line, but as they highlight concerns that they want to touch on are liability concerns for personal safety and ADA regulations, safe and convenient access or loading zones for vehicles, driveway access and visibility, maintaining access to existing utilities, efforts to maximize potential parking areas rather than right sizing. Driver behavior is one of the areas that they want to focus on as well. There are a lot of good comments that came from the audience today, and I appreciate those. I'm sure the council does as well. If I could just touch on a few of those before I give my recommendation or what I think I feel we should do. This study that was done by the committee previously, and one of the comments was that we could tweak spaces. Excuse me, and we have tweaked spaces. We found some things that were concerning, and we've marked some of those spaces off that they're not going to be used for parking, or we're going to determine what their use is going to be, and perhaps we're going to repurpose those. I don't like the idea of waiting until a problem exists to then say, oh, we should fix that. We need to identify that first. When this parking study, I wasn't asked much about this parking study. In fact, it wasn't even proposed to me until the day of the council meeting when it was going to be proposed to council. I was not on the committee. No members of the police department were on the committee. The people that are out there every single day seeing the issues that go on with parking on Main Street and all about the island were not included on the committee. I would rather identify the problems first and make a correction before we open those spaces up to parking. I think that Bolton and Mink, through their proposal, through their references that they show, they've shown that they've done this for other communities. They've done something similar. There's a lot of residents that are concerned about the parking spaces. I met with Mr. S in the back there. I'm not going to try his name either. With Roger and his wife, I spent some time at their house and pulled into their driveway, and I can see the concern. And I asked him, I said, we're going to wait and see what the council's decision is on this parking study. And if this is not approved, then we'll make a recommendation of what we're going to do with those spaces. I don't know everything. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that I do. And I'm sure Bolton and Mank will tell you the same thing, that they don't know. But they're professionals and this is what they do. I think it's a wise use of taxpayer funds. If we're going to put a $45,000 price tag on the life or the safety of one child on a bicycle, then it's a no-brainer. Let's spend the $45,000. My recommendation to the council is that we enter into the contract with Bolton and Mank.
Member Council, have any questions?
I don't have any questions, Mr. Mayor, but I'm agreeing with the chief here. We need another set of eyes. We need to look at every aspect of this thing, from top to bottom, front to back. And it's not a knock on anything or anybody that's been previously done. It's not about that. But we need to make sure this thing is right, particularly along Main Street with the spaces that we're getting ready to start utilizing. Like the chief just said, yeah, somebody could be walking or jogging or riding a bike, and there could be a large vehicle that's blocking somebody's sight distance. We don't want to take that chance, and it's a big step, and it's $45,000. But I think for a peace of mind, we really need to think hard about doing something like that. Excuse me, doing something like this.
Mr. Arnold, I agree with you. Want to make sure that everyone knows that the expenses for this will be taken out of the parking plan. So the people that are putting in, that are paying to park, they're the ones that are paying for this. A parking study should have been done. We found several errors. A parking study would have offered the error, could have been identified, but we know that the current parking plan is erroneous. Unfortunately, the public was misled. We were told that the post office authorized moving mailboxes. We all know now, it's been published, that the post office did not opine at all. They didn't offer an opinion because they knew nothing about our parking plan. So now we have to move those mailboxes. That's an expense that the past council had for us. The staff person that moved the mailboxes was told by a council member. That council member didn't have the authority to move mailboxes. We have to fix that. We were also told many times that North Carolina DOT gave their blessing, and we have since found that North Carolina DOT did not give their blessing. They gave their blessing on a few areas, particularly at the intersections. As leaders, we have found this out, and it's hard to say this, but it's the truth. Another truth is we have public utilities out there with manhole covers that we've been told now that Brunswick County has opined that they do not want us to have a parking place over that access. Yes, the parking plan did have a committee. Appreciate, and I've gone on record numerous times, appreciate those folks, but none was an expert in parking. None was an expert in traffic. I want to make sure that $45,000 is nothing in comparison to if someone were to lose a life. Life is precious. Life is priceless. Quality of life is priceless. If someone gets injured and their quality of life is altered, $45,000 that comes from the parking plan is nothing. If someone is injured to the fact that they die, that's priceless. We can never get that back. So, Mr. Clamer and Mr. Arnold, I agree with you both. This is something that needs to be done. I regret that this is laid on us to do. But we need to do the right thing, and we need to do what is right for the safety of our citizens that come to Sunset Beach. Thank you.
Mr. Boswell, go ahead.
I'm not going, as far as what has been said, I mean, I'm going to go a different area, and I'm concerned regarding the timeline. They're going to start this in April, or actually March. April's their second meeting, May is their third meeting, but we don't get a final report till July. That's halfway through the parking season. I think they should get pushed to move that much closer to Memorial Day than July. I mean, we're already losing 2 months that way.
I may be able to speak a little bit on that. Miss Batchelor and I just got off the phone with each other talking about this. When we met to go over what we wanted, we had identified that surveys had already been completed for Main Street, and that they would not have to do that for us, that was already identified as something that we could bring to the table. So that would move up the time frame, because we were concerned, as you are, and it's a very legitimate concern, to push them. And I'm pretty sure our interim town administrator could work with them on trying to get the timeline to move up.
Absolutely, that's something that can be accomplished.
Thank you.
I would like one other concern, and then I'm looking at their contract. I noted they said that any kind of reports they put out or maps or anything else, we can get a copy, but we can't use it for anything else. We're paying $45,000 for their report. That report and all of the things we should be able to use for whatever we want. And I think our lawyers should strike that from there, saying that we're going to share. It's ours as well. I mean, I didn't pay $45,000 to look at pictures.
Agree. That may not have been the intent.
Well, I
the
know.
intent of what they put in the contract.
I agree the study should be done. Safety comes first. I mean,
Yes, Mike, on the timeline thing you had mentioned, great point, and we did address that with them when they were here on site a couple weeks ago, and discussed, I believe, Ken, it was they were going to get us something before Memorial Day. Was that correct? Like high incident area. I don't have those notes in front of me, but they were going to look at getting us stuff sooner.
It's in this proposal.
I do
Okay.
recall that
Okay.
that draft memo date is likely where they're talking about. So they'll
Right.
have a draft to us, and then with the final product expected later.
Right, and we did discuss the map, because I feel like that's something we've been lacking in everything from engineering forward. We need up-to-date maps to do so many projects, and we've been missing out on those. And we need those from our engineering firm or any project that's done here at town, so that we have up-to-date maps. Regarding this study, I would like to I appreciate the parking committee and the work they have done. You know, as many of you know, this has been going on for years, discussing parking, and we're still here discussing parking today. I would like to thank everybody that's taken a role in this over the years. We do have lots of data to go off of that has been collected at various points along the way. I know I personally read every bit of that, and we've shared some of that with this possible vendor that we may end up working with. I've received hundreds of comments from people from the mainland and the island while campaigning, while in office. Parking is still the hottest discussion topic out there, as what I'm being talked at. We've received 51 portal comments alone on parking. We've had many people come and speak at meetings. We appreciate everyone's feedback on this. We've heard lots of issues regarding 7th and 11th Street, the half side streets where roads have been made from one way, and spots have been added. Lots of concerns there from residents, from safety on forward on. Sightline issues have been brought up. Pedestrian and bike safety has been brought up. Where do people's mailboxes, trash cans, and recycling bins go? Because like Roger S. said, There's nowhere on his property for some of that stuff. Since some of these have been poured, especially on the south side, I know Mr. Clamer as well as Public Works have been very busy talking to residents about their concerns on that. I think I support what's been said so far, that the safety issues and liability issues, we do need to look at this further with experts in this area. I know that's not what everybody wants, but from what I've heard, it's definitely more the majority do want that. So that's my take on it.
Mayor, one more thing.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I heard all the comments made regarding the post office and whether the mailbox should be on one side or the other. And I recall, and I can't exact what meeting, but there was discussion made with the post office, the postmaster of Sunset Beach. I don't know if it's one that's here currently or they changed, and the assistant, that there was a discussion of moving them, the post mailboxes from one side to the other in front of the houses. Now, like I said, I'd have to go back to a lot of notes to find it. But I remember that was a discussion made at one of the town council meetings, and it was brought out to everybody. Now, does the postmaster change in the wind based on what administration goes to them? I don't know. But I don't think that I really believe that somebody had spoken with them, and I really don't believe that that was done on a whim. I think it was done with some advice and consent from the post office, and they may have changed their mind.
They don't have a record of that.
Well,
So they post office, they make records of things like that. So even if another person would have assumed that role, nobody spoke with them. They don't have a record of it.
well, I'm going to go back to my notes only because I'm not sure, but I thought I saw that a letter was sent to them. And I just wanted to see if the letter was sent to them, maybe their mail delivery was incorrect and never got to them. But I want to make sure it's mailed. Okay?
And if there's a record of that, I'm sure you have that in your notes.
I
that
have
you
to go
could-
through
yeah.
it. I didn't expect this to bring up, so I didn't
Yeah,
get to all of it.
no worries.
Okay.
Anybody else on council? Not. What is the pleasure of council in regards to park study at fee $45,000, not to exceed $45,000? What's the pleasure of council?
I make a motion that we accept the offer of $45,000 from Milton, and not to exceed $45,000.
All right. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That should be it in the meeting today. I'll go down just a second. If there's nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.